Welcome back to Loket in the Czech Republic. This is the Casino Bomba Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. My name's Paul Malin. You join us once again live from the trackside here as the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship gets ready to burst into life for the 12th round of the World Championship campaign. Good weather conditions here, quite warm, quite muggy, but a little bit overcast as well, so the water on the circuit not drying out too much. But the picturesque town here of Loket, where we are at this weekend, been on the calendar in the World Championships 1995. We've had a couple of triple headers here as well, back in sort of 2000, 2001 and 2 and 3. And of course, since 2004, it's been a regular fixture on the World Championship calendar. A couple of hours just outside of the capital of Prague. Not a million miles away from the German border as well, so there are going to be a lot of Max Nagel fans cheering this weekend as a Red Bull KTM rider makes his return to Grand Prix action here this weekend. Up front, though, it's Tony Cairoli, who has a 20-point advantage over Clément de Sales, with Christophe Pourcel 29 points further back. Gauthier Paulin is fourth, with Ken de Dijker in fifth. That'll be an interesting tussle between him and his new teammate this weekend, Max Nagel. So just under 1,600 meters long, this circuit here in the Czech Republic. A hard, slick, old-school circuit, very natural, but hard underneath, loose on top. And very fast and very, very physical out there as well. And in a moment, we'll get the views of Dean Ferris, the Ice One Kawasaki rider from Australia, who's still out injured and will be for the rest of the season. But here's Amy, she's down on the grid.
We're back down on the start line for the MX1 Race 1. Let's go and have a word with some of our riders. Max Nagel, it's great to see you back. Are you enjoying being back in the World Championship paddock?
Yes, it's fine to be back, you know, in racing. It was a long time, my first race. It's not too much pressure, I hope, and just have fun on the track.
And how are you feeling fitness-wise?
It's okay, the fitness is not so bad. Still the arms was a little bit weak, and let's say it's 80% I'm ready, but I was giving some time to be good enough for racing.
We'll wish you a good race, go out there and have some fun. Let's move down the start line now and have a word with Cedric Soubirous. We saw him yesterday in qualifying take his best ever finish. Were you really happy with that ride?
Yeah, yesterday I've done a quite good race. I started about 9 and I finished 7, so I'm really happy with my result. Now I expect, like, why not top 10 in the heat race, so yeah, I'm ready to fight, how we see.
Thanks very much. Right, before we see the MX1 Race 1, let's take a look behind the scenes of Team SGS Poland TM Factory Racing.
I am Marco Ricciardi. I am a team manager for the Motocross Factory team, and today we present our team in MX2. For this year we have a good agreement with the SKS Poland team for Mr. Van Beers for follow the MX2 bike. The bike are completely factory. We are very happy because Adri Van Beers have quite a lot of experience in World Championship and make a very, very good work for this season.
Adri, you were previously with Yamaha. How have you found the transition to the Italian manufacturer?
TM called me in November for ask me for coming to Italy, and we speak for doing the MX2 GP team, and yeah, we make an agreement and we start. Andrea was from the factory. He was test rider there, and Nick was from Holland.
And the riders are young. This is a young team. Are you happy with the progress that's been made this year?
No, I am not happy. The result is not coming at this moment. Nick was a long time injured. He started now, I think, 1.5 months before. All the GP season was out. Andrea is makes progression, but not enough. And the training is every time good, and with the races, yeah, it's not good. And I hope now to come a couple of races that is coming result for. It's also more easier for everybody.
So that being said, what is the bigger plan for the team and the future?
Yeah, we speak now for 2013. We want a good rider for sure. Top just the 5 and the 10, a good rider, and maybe one young rider. When we speak, it's not clear for next year.
We're here in Casino Bomba. Do you like the odd gamble?
Yeah, it's fun. I think the team is very thankful to have a sponsor like this and to make a lot of fun. And yeah, I think we'll make it today.
It seems like we haven't seen quite so much of you this year.
Yeah, I did the first race was in Mantova. I think I showed some good speed on Saturday, but then I crashed on Sunday and dislocated my shoulder. Been out for the whole year. Now this weekend Loket's the second race now, again after surgery, and yeah, not that much ridden, but I tried to make the best of it and hope to get back in the points.
This is my first season in the World Championship. In the beginning, I don't have a good, good mentality for the race. But I think now coming better because also during the training, I'm quite fast. I'm happy and sure in the final of the season coming better.
Zatím druhý v průběžné klasifikaci staví se vedle Loket a Polina. Tady se poznáte žlutá Suzuki.
The MX1 riders are down on the start line, getting ready for their first race of the day, round 12 of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. It's the Casino Bomba Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. My name's Paul Malin. Alongside me now, Dean Ferris, the Australian for the Ice One Racing Kawasaki team. Dean Ferris, before we get to the action here in MX1 Race 1, the qualifying race yesterday was something else, wasn't it? Tony Cairoli and Kevin Strybos pretty much disappeared at the front, but that battle for third involved, what, 10, 15 guys at one time?
Yeah, it was a battle from third all the way to 14th, so everyone was on their feet, and it was just a big freight train, so it was really good to watch, and hopefully we get that again today. Well,
eventually third place did go to Sebastian Pourcel as he found a way through on the final lap past Rui Gonçalves, the Honda World Motocross rider. Ken Didijker started down in 10th and worked his way up into 5th place ahead of Sean Simpson, who actually stayed third for much of the race before fading back into that 6th. Then it was Cedric Soubirous. We heard from him a moment ago on the pre-grid. The HDI Honda France rider taking his best qualifying of the year in 7th ahead of Max Nagel. And Max Nagel, the Red Bull KTM rider, he was challenging for that third place for much of the time, but again, eventually just found himself dropping down to 8th ahead of Gauthier Paulin, Xavier Bourg and Mike Maruva. But Tanel Leoc had a good ride through from 19th to finishing 12th on one of his favourite circuits. But all eyes, certainly Dean Ferris, have to be on the Red Bull KTM rider there, Tony Cairoli, the championship leader, 20 points at Commander Sal at the top of the standings, and an easy winner yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt, and like you said, another standout Strybos. Yeah, all right, here we go.
Well, the gate drops, Jonathan Barrigan up the inside, but not a good start for Sebastian Pourcel or Christophe Pourcel, but Christophe Pourcel holding a tight line around the inside. What's the bet? He comes out in around about 3rd or 4th position. Look at that on the left. We've got a rider going down there, Potazek, Milko Potazek, number 32, the teammate to Cedric Soubirous. So Cairoli, though, with a whole shot. We've got 2 Kawasaki's, Xavier Bourg or Gauthier Paulin in there in that 2nd place. And it was Christophe Pourcel alongside him in 3rd place. So he's already there in 2nd position. So I'm guessing it was... well, here we go, over the finish line for the first time. Cairoli from Pourcel, Xavier Bourg and Gauthier Paulin. So both the factory Kawasaki riders in there. Kawasaki's 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment. Then we've got Max Nagel there, number 12, Red Bull Factory KTM Racing ahead of Sean Simpson, Mark Deruva, Cedric Soubirous. And Ken Dodajka, Evgeny Bobyshev down in 10th, ahead of Jonathan Barragan in 11th. DeSalle is 12th, Leop 13th, Kevin Strybos is 14th. And we've got Aranda, Pourcel, Sebastian Pourcel, Ben Svoboda, Nathan Parker, Santu Tienen and Martin Micek. They're your top 20 as they come through the finish line on the very first time. A little bit further down, of course, Milko Podisek. We saw him go down on the first turn. Ruy Gonçalves down in 21st at the moment. Jamie Law is 24th. And Guarnieri down in 27th. Alfie Smith in 28th place. Dean Ferris, did you ever ride here before or not? It's the first time you've been here, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, my first time. I actually, I'm going home next week, but I decided to come and check out the track just because give me a little bit more experience for next year. Even though I don't get to ride, I get to see the surface and you know how the track forms up.
Oh, a little bit of bar banging action there. I think it was Sean Simpson as he came up the hill, but hard and slick and quite gnarly as well, isn't it, this circuit? Are you quite surprised at how choppy it is and how physically demanding it looks?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can't see it on TV, but it's there's a few spots that's really, really hard pack, actually rock. You can't see it, but it's just stone, especially past the pitboard area. So that'll be very slick, especially now that they put a little bit of water down for the start of this moto.
Well, they're working their way towards the end of their first official lap. Tony Cairoli did grab that whole shot on the Red Bull Factory KTM ahead of Christophe Pourcel, now in second position. That's him just going out of shot there. And then we've got the 121 Xavier Bourg and the 21 Gauthier Paulin. Very physical through here. We saw the bikes in MX2 getting pitched around all over the place here in the later stages of the race. But here we are then, end of the first official lap. Tony Cairoli already 2.1 seconds clear of Christophe Pourcel, with Xavier Bourg in third, although being challenged by Gauthier Paulin as they take that leap down off the step down and up the inside of his teammate.
Not scared.
Aggressive move on your teammate there at the bottom of the hill there, Gauthier Paulin. Hey, he wants third position. He wants to go after Christophe Pourcel and Tony Cairoli. Oh, the back end just pitching out at the wrong moment on the face of that jump. Could have been gnarly for him there.
Yeah, definitely.
Where's that Max Nagel there in fifth position? Sean Simpson in sixth. We've got Cedric Suber at the 120 in seventh. Ken Dodajka just behind him in eighth. Clement Dessalles making work through into ninth position. He had a tough qualifying yesterday, got held up through turn one and fell again in this off camber behind us, behind this camera position a little bit later on in the race, and he ended up a long way down, further down than he needed to be. Clement Dessalles down in 15th place on that Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machine. But the circuit, Dean Ferris, the Ice One Kawasaki rider, as Dessalles goes around the outside of Dodajka, that looked like. So starting to work his way through. But yeah, the circuit here, you know, you can see from everywhere, can't you? It's got a bit of everything to it. It's hard, it's slick, there's off cambers, there's bumps, there's jump. It's got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I remember watching on TV this track a couple of years ago. I think it's had a lot of rain. It was very ruddy, and I didn't expect surface to be like this. It's a broken down granite, and yeah, that provides everything like we just spoke about.
Dessalles running it high and wide around the outside of Subarat, gets up out of the seat. But Subarat, is he going to put the squeeze on him? Well, Dessalles tried to go down the inside. He's still
made it happen.
Yeah, he's made it happen. Like I say, just committed himself to the middle of the corner out of turn two, but he's almost off the bike there. Loses a leg anyway. Who was that? Guarnieri hitting the gate there, number 39. Paulin hanging off the back of that 450. Cairoli already taking a look across, and they've certainly got that KTM hooking up. And in years gone by, Dean Ferris, as we look at Milko Podisek going down, it seemed that the riders wanted to start at the inside. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was the first lap.
Paulin, he done that yesterday also in qualifying race, but on the other side and almost hit the fence. So got to keep an eye on that jump there.
Oh, Barragan, oh, going down. Just left his braking a little bit too late, and everybody going down. Gonçalves going down. Who else is in there? Is it 232? I think that's Martin Micek, the local rider. And this was the pass. Paulin. Oh no, Xavier Bourg. That put him into third position. But the fastest man on track, 150.6, 1/10 quicker than Tony Cairoli. And 2 seconds down is Christophe Pourcel. Loves this circuit. I spoke to him in Russia. Sorry, not in Russia, in Latvia. And he was actually saying, you know, of the circuits that are coming up in the second half of the season, this one, Matsley Basin, certainly Faenza and certainly Teufenthal. No mention really of Lierop, but out of the 5 races, you know, this is one of his favourite circuits and looking forward to it. And at that point, he was quite a ways down on the championship leader, Tony Cairoli, so he was actually looking at maybe, you know, starting a challenge from here, really, for that.
I
for that
believe
World
that
Championship.
this track's so technical and slippery. As you can see, they're just sliding all around the place, and Pourcel's just a genius at getting traction where there is none, you know. So
again, Paulin, no, Xavier Bourg that time making a mistake there. We just saw Xavier Bourg get passed there by Max Nagel at the bottom of the hill just a moment ago. But when you stand on the edge of that, it doesn't look much, does it, on the TV camera when you see somebody do it from the onboard? But it's actually about 30 metres from point to point. And quite steep off of here, isn't it, off this Invest Trade Bank? Were you quite surprised at the angle of that?
It's really deceiving on that step down that we're just seeing there. It's when I went and stood it, I'm like, oh, this is gnarly if you come up short. But obviously it's different when you're standing to when you're riding, and you know, they have no trouble. But that little tabletop where those Cairoli boys are swapping out seems difficult.
And it's not a big tabletop on the corner either, is it? It's just the approach of it.
The approach, yeah, you're turning on the up ramp and it's obviously slick because of the surface, and yeah, and then they scrub and then they hit the top of it, and sometimes it can go wrong, but it's lucky these boys got some skill and can save it. And a lot of off cameras around this part. Again, TV doesn't really show it, does it? But when you stand up on pit lane or you walk the circuit, that first drop down into that right and then up through that left and dropping down to the double section. Again, you don't appreciate how difficult that is for the riders to continue that with that momentum, the corner speed, and they're fighting the bike the whole time, aren't they? Yep. And I seen yesterday in practice is Pourcel's very, very special on those turns. He finds a line that provides him with some traction, and yeah. All right, so Pourcel's closing the gap now on Cairoli.
Yeah, 1.7 seconds. So it was 2.4, it's down to 1.7. That's a little bit of an inroad, but Claudio Cairoli looks pretty relaxed at the moment. Gauthier Paulin, though, coming under pressure from Max Nagel, who has got a lot of support here this weekend, just lives over the border. Oh, he's from just over the border, really, in that eastern part of Germany, but look at his line there, taking a nice wide sweep, but gets just pushed wide there. I wonder if he'll switch it to the outside here. As he tries to go up the inside of Gauthier Paulin, maybe square him off here, and then, no, not going to happen. This is where he passed Xavier Bourg just a moment ago. Gauthier Paulin, though, takes a quick look over his shoulder, but with 27 minutes to go, it's Cairoli, Pourcel and Paulin. Gauthier Paulin definitely got the radar on, spent too much time looking across at Max Nagel, making it hard work for the German. Squeezes him to the inside.
I thought Nagel had it then, but yeah, he put the block on.
But he was just maybe taking a little bit too much time to be concerned about Nagel then, wasn't he? You know, he shut off really, really early. He knew that he was probably going to counteract in that next turn, and it almost paid off. Go on, Dean Ferris.
All right, yeah. Well, sorry about the pass. Yeah, he, I'm not sure what, and then he changed his mind. He decided he wanted to stay in front of Nagel. But Nagel's all over him now. It's probably a matter of time before he gets around him. I think Nagel comes from a little ways back.
It was good to hear him actually in the press conference after the qualifying race yesterday. Max Nagel, number 12, down here on the right-hand side on that orange KTM. No ill effects from the surgery. It's been a long time that he's been out for. He had surgery pretty much at the end of the season last year, and a couple of surgeries, one of them going wrong, and it needed to be reoperated on his back, of course, we're talking about. But he's able to ride and get up to the speed that he's happy with, and a level of fitness that he's happy with, and he showed that yesterday. He was actually, you know, pretty content with the way he rode yesterday, because as he said in the press conference, when he's been riding alone on a practice track without any other riders around him. And yesterday was the first time, apart from the German Championship, the ADAC series last weekend, that he's able to, well, that was German Championship, but here he is in a full field of World Championship
for sure.
riders.
And that battle yesterday was really intense, so he's and it's been a long time, like you said, since he's been racing. So
Paulin almost off the back of the bike. He lost the front end going in. Nagel, he's going to brake a little bit earlier, square off, and maybe run it up the inside of the Kawasaki, but no. Opts against it, but gets good drive on that 450 KTM, and this time moves aside. No, he doesn't. He gives Gauthier Paulin too much room, and he responds and fights back and manages to hold on to that third position. This time, Paulin, though, is on the wrong side, and Max Nagel goes through and takes third position. And Gauthier Paulin, Dean Ferris, looks to be a little bit uncomfortable out on the circuit at the moment, which again, French rider, hard, slick surfaces like this, I thought this would have been his playground.
Yeah, for sure. He was, while Nagel's beside him, he sort of like, almost looked like he just gave up and was going to let Nagel pass. So I'm not sure.
I'm just wondering whether he's just felt the heat a little bit there and decided, you know what, just let him go, maybe follow him for a little bit. There's DeSalle at the inside of Xavier Bourg. So DeSalle from nowhere takes 5th position from Xavier Bourg and is really on the charge now. Here's Clement DeSalle, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider, as he goes after Gauthier Paulin and Max Nagel, who are just ahead of him. So Clement DeSalle, he obviously needs to dig deep here. He's 20 points down on Tony Cairoli in the battle for that MX1 championship. I was talking to Sylvain Gabors yesterday, for, the team owner, the team manager of that squad, or the team principal, and I said, you know, do you feel that after he took the championship lead, Clement DeSalle, by 3 points in Sweden, do you think, or do you feel that it's been a lost opportunity in terms of what's happened over the last couple of weeks? Tony Cairoli, of course, managing to claw back 23, 24 points. He's 20 points clear now. And he said, well, yeah, but he said he felt that Clement DeSalle was maybe just riding a little bit too cautious. And now he's basically saying, look, you know, the season starts now. You've got to go for it. You've got to throw everything out, leave everything on the table and go for it. And obviously, apart from the bad start that he had, you know, he's looking certainly in control here and pushing on. What was his lap time? Well, he's still down on time, though, 52.0 compared to the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Tony Cairoli of 49.3 and the second fastest and the personal best for Christophe Pourcel of 49.4. So those two really starting to push on here. And here is Tony Cairoli, our race leader. And I was surprised at Tony Cairoli's comments in the press conference yesterday. It's not that he doesn't say it's not his favourite circuit, but he just doesn't find that his style is suited to this kind of track. But took his 35th Grand Prix victory here a couple of years ago. And incidentally, if he wins today, he will tie Joel Robert, the 6-time world champion from Belgium, in Grand Prix wins and join him as 3rd place on the all-time win list, which is a pretty impressive stat to have, isn't it?
That'd be pretty special. I'd love to have that on my resume.
Sean Simpson fighting that Monster Energy Yamaha coming out of that left-hander. And again, doesn't look that steep, but when you come out of that corner, it just suddenly goes up from nothing to quite a steep incline. And Sean Simpson down in 8th place, now at 9th place, because Bobrashev's just found a way through on the Honda World Motocross machine. So Bobrashev on the charge. Simpson taking a look back over his shoulder, wrestling with a tear-off on the goggles there, but Simpson going to be falling into the clutches of Gregory Aranda, who we've not seen for quite a while. And Gregory Aranda qualified in 16th yesterday, but he was looking pretty sharp in the practice sessions before that. Christophe Pourcel, though, he reacts. He's now the fastest man on track, but that gap's still 2 seconds at the head of the field between Tony Cairoli and Pourcel. We're going down a pit lane.
Joining me in the pit lane, Roger Harvey. Bobby's having a really great race out there. We've just seen him move up to 8th. Are you happy with the last couple of races from him?
Yeah, I'm happy with him in this race because, like, we had a disaster yesterday. Stone went through the radiator and he lost all the water, so nothing you can do about that technically. The track, there's a lot of stones on this track, so that put him into a real bad place for the start. So to get out in round about 10th when he was fantastic. So yeah, I'm generally pleased with it. If he keeps it up, keeps going forward.
Thanks, Rod.
And his teammate, Evgeny Bobrashev's teammate, Rui Gonçalves, now up into 13th position. We saw him right at the start of the race in that incident with was it Aragon and a couple of other riders.
Yeah, he's moved forward a lot. He was outside top 20 and he's had to pass through the riders like Doneri and Strabos and Leok on the way, so he's definitely on the move.
I'm surprised at Leok, actually, because a couple of times he's won a Grand Prix here as well, and he's the only one really that took the challenge to Tony Cairoli in the past couple of seasons. So
yeah, I'm sure in 2010 he won a moto here.
Yeah,
on LS Honda.
Yeah, he did. Once again, Simpson fighting for traction as he heads up the hill. That's Gregory Aranda, number 30 on the TB2B Racing Yamaha. Good to see him back in the World Championship, but hasn't been around for a while. One or two little injuries and knocked here, I guess, but it's Cairoli just busting a berm. Look at the rocks there. Pretty powerful roost as well off of 450, isn't it, Dean Ferris?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys having their peaks down on the straights yesterday. It's in the race, it's not too bad. You know, you got all the adrenaline and you don't feel it too much, but in practice, you're like, you struggle with getting hit by rocks then, and by the end of the weekend, sometimes you're bleeding because the rocks are that bad. But it's all a part of it, huh?
Yeah, Sean Simpson, good qualifying again yesterday, just like he had in Sweden and in Latvia and in Russia. But struggling to turn that qualifying form into race results at the moment, as he's starting to fall into the clutches of Gregory Aranda and almost into 10th position. But Gauthier Paulin there in 4th, and number 21, the factory Kawasaki rider. He's got number 25 on that yellow Suzuki. Clément Desalle gaining all the time on him, but their lap times, Desalle about 6/10 quicker than Gauthier Paulin that time around, so he's inching ever so closer. Here's the number 25 there, who sits second in the championship, Clément Desalle. Xavier Bourg, though, he's a guy that needs to ride for his contract if all the paddock rumours are true. But look at the swap there from the Suzuki.
That's where I was saying it's just fully stone, and that's the only place you don't really want to crash, because it's just rock hard there. Somebody
almost did go over there yesterday, and Tommy Searle actually went down the big step down just after the finish line. He crashed in that corner at the bottom in the same way that Josh Coppins did in 2007, which cost him his championship then, of course. But yeah, Tommy Searle lucky to get away with that in the practice, and obviously picking up a decent result in that first MX2 race. Good weather conditions here in Loket in the Czech Republic. It's round 12 of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. I'm Paul Malin, alongside me Dean Ferris from Ice One Racing Kawasaki, and running up the inside, is that Martin Macek going down again? It might be. 268 in fact, so a quick look see there. Ben Svoboda, one of the Hungarian guys, so sampling that hard Czech Republic dirt. What's the gap between Desalle and Paulin now? It's gone out a little bit actually, and a slower lap there by almost a second. Clément Desalle on Gauthier Paulin, so obviously that mistake that he made in this corner a lap ago cost him some time, because he was 6/10 quicker up until that point. Clément Desalle.
The leaders have also slowed up by 1 second per lap also, so they're obviously pacing and playing a bit of cat and mouse there at the front.
Yeah, Cairoli and Pourcel still 2.5 seconds apart. Wondering whether Pourcel might be comfortable, obviously, pushing those lap times and keeping Cairoli in his sights. I'm just wondering whether in the last sort of few minutes, 10 minutes or so, that he might just decide to pull the pin and go after a race win here.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't it?
We always wonder what Pourcel's up to. we can never tell, huh?
He's going to be one of my guests on the live studio show pretty much immediately after the broadcast of this first MX1 race. Of course, you see that on MX Live TV, but we're joined by Max Nagel, Marnik Bavots and Alessandro Lupino, and yeah, I guess if he was having a not too decent result, the might be a no-show, but at the moment it's looking good in terms of having our full quota of guests for that live show. But anyway, Clément Desalle going after Gauthier Paulin, is reeled him back in again, so this is the battle for 4th position. But Max Nagel, great ride from him. He's still 3 seconds clear of these guys, and not a bad place to be, is it? First ride back, first Grand Prix. He's dropping in at round 12 and sitting pretty there in a 3rd place podium finish. Dean Ferris.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a lot better than I did when I come back in my first GP, that's for sure.
Well, Max Nagel, of course, no stranger to taking podiums, and obviously finishing second in a World Championship a couple of years ago in 2009, but been plagued by injuries since then, but doing a great job hanging on there in 3rd in the moment in this first race. .5 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this first MX1 race here, the Casino Bonva Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. We're looking at number 21, Gauthier Paulin, in 4th place, as he's being hounded by the number 25 of Clément Desalle, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider from Belgium. Desalle made a couple of mistakes in the last couple of laps. That gap went out to more than 2 seconds, but as you can see, he's reeled it back in, and he's going after Paulin. Max Nagel about 5 seconds further up the track, though, in that 3rd place. So we were just saying about Max Nagel a moment ago, how good it is to see him back, and there in that 3rd position after being out for the whole of the World Championship season. And who knows, Clément Desalle, if he finds a way in the 4th position past Gauthier Paulin, will he have the tools? Yeah, well, there he goes. Will he have the tools now to go after Max Nagel? We'll keep an eye on the lap times, because Nagel was a 150.6 compared to the 150.8, so not much in it. It just depends whether he can dig really deep and get it all out of the bag, Clément Desalle, and go after that 3rd place, because he needs to. That'll be a 5-point deficit or reduction in points from him to Cairoli, who currently leads the championship. Dean Ferris from Ice One Racing Kawasaki alongside me. A little bit later on, obviously in 2 weeks' time, we've got Matchley Basin, the 4-day festival of motocross, which incidentally, it's the last day today that you can buy the Grand Prix tickets for the British Grand Prix that include a free paddock pass, as to sell easily up the inside of Gauthier Paulin. And for the amateurs that are going to be riding there on that day, Pourcel, Sebastian Pourcel. So Sebastian Pourcel out of 11th place. So we'll start that again. British Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time at Matchley Basin. It's the last day today that you can buy tickets for the Grand Prix that include a free paddock pass, and also the amateur riders that are going to be competing that day. The first 3 are going to be winning money, a cash prize from Monster Energy, our sponsors, of course. And the guys down to 10th will be picking up Tom-Toms, and the guys after that will be picking up other cash prizes from either another sponsor or various sponsors of the event. So we'll keep you posted on that. But it sounds like it's going to be a great affair down there at Matchley Basin in Winchester in 2 weeks' time, just off the M3.
Perfect place to go watch. So the track is unbelievable to watch. I'm sure it would be to ride, but unfortunately I won't be there. But
yeah, because of course your the shoulder injury that you picked up, dislocation. What's the progress on that now, Dean Ferris?
Yeah, it's all on track. I had surgery 7 weeks ago, and it's about physio and strength.
Kevin Strybos and Davide Guarneri having their own little battle down in 14th position. Strybos being a little bit quiet this weekend, taking a look over his shoulder. So Guarneri goes through. Strybos now down at 15th place. So yeah, back to the shoulder.
Yeah, it's on track, but I won't be able to ride till mid-October, so it's all about focusing on 2013 for me right now. And I had 2 months full rest because I had to, and now I'm starting to train to get ready for next year. And I know I've got a lot of work to do. I went for a big run down around the castle here in Loket. Beautiful place. But, yeah, I'm out of shape, I tell you.
Well, like you say, you have got a bit of time on your hands, but
yeah.
And I guess the hard work starts now then for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've had enough time off, and I'll just be training flat out through Christmas, and it'll be great. I'm going home to Australia, and it'll be summer there while everyone's having a bit of rest here in winter. So hopefully I get a bit of a head start, and everyone.
Good. And in September, of course, we've got the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations at Lommel. Any talk yet as to what the Motocross of Nations team will be for Team Australia?
Well, I'm not sure. I guess it depends if Chad Reed decides to ride for us. Ideally, we'd like him to, and then, well, I'm not sure because there's Metcalf is also out along with me, and but we've got some good riders in Australia. MX2, I'm guessing they'll pick Luke Stike. He's actually leading the championship in Australia.
Yeah,
MX2 and MX1, it'd be hard to go past Todd Waters. He's a factory Suzuki rider there, and he's only 12 points short of the championship leader, which is Josh Coppins right now.
Yeah, I saw the press release the other day, and obviously keeping tabs on what's going on down there in Australia and New Zealand as well. But there was talk that Chad Reed would probably come over, depending on on fitness and everything else, to maybe ride the Grand Prix in Lierop as practice for that. But obviously, as yet, we've not had official confirmation on that. But
yeah, that'd be really cool, and I guess it'd be special for him because that's the only GP he actually won here in 2001. I'm sure that's why he wants to come back, because a special place for him.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool to see him at a GP again.
And of course, Ken Roxon, we saw him come back to Germany last week, ride the ADAC, the German Championship round, on a 450. He won the round. He beat Nagel in that championship round last week, but it's confirmed pretty much that he's going to be riding the Grand Prix of Germany at Teushenthal, the last round of the series, which is going to be a week before that Lommel Motocross Energy Motocross of Nations. So yeah,
and he's chosen to ride a 450 instead of 350. So.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to look forward to over the next couple of months, leading up to invariably the biggest race on the calendar, the Motocross of Nations. So yeah, we'll obviously, as the teams unfold and get picked, of course, everyone's on a short list at the moment for all the various countries, but injuries play a part in team selection, of course, and form. But Tony Cairoli, he'll certainly be a shoo-in for Team Italy, but no David Philipparts. It'll probably be Guarneri and Lupino at the moment on current form and availability. But Tony Cairoli, though, has 10 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this first race. He's still 2.5 seconds clear of the CP377 Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider Christophe Pourcel. Those two still matching each other for lap times, give or take a tenth of a second or two here or there. But Max Nagel, Red Bull KTM factory rider, his first race back from injury, back surgery as well, no less. really showing the established runners what he could have been capable of, and I guess Red Bull KTM as well, because obviously he's not going to be on that team for next year, so obviously riding for a contract for next year maybe.
Yeah, really impressive how he's going right now. I'm actually surprised he's doing this well. But, you know, like you said, he chose not to come back until now.
Claudio, we now have the full Red Bull KTM factory team back racing. Max Nagel's first race back, and he's doing very well.
Beh, siamo molto contenti per lui. È rientrato nella gara giusta dopo una lunga preparazione, una lunga convalescenza, è riuscito a fare una buona partenza e vedo che riesce anche a tenere il ritmo e spero che finisce così nel podio con una bella gara. Siamo veramente felici di essere, Max è tornato fra di noi.
We're ready.
Oh, we just disappeared there with Mariano, the English translation of what Claudio De Carli was about to say there, but I'm guessing very pleased, and Max doing a great job, as is Tony, of course, and Ken de Dijker down in 7th place. But I guess the bigger news is, and what the German press will be touching on, and maybe even the Belgian press, that Ken de Dijker came in for the first 5 races. He wasn't going to be given the 450 that Max Nagel was riding. It was just going to be an old 3-year-old engine. And of course, as Max delayed his return, he should have been back in the French Grand Prix, delayed his return a little bit longer just to be 100% ready, which is what KTM pretty much wanted him to do as well. And by then, De Dijker had been given the engine, the same bike that Max is running. So between those two guys, it's almost like that personal battle in the team, isn't it? In terms of, okay, I'm the number 1 450 rider in the team, or number 2 to Tony Cairoli. You're just kind of the standing guy, but I'm going to show you the way to go around here this weekend. De Dijker had the advantage yesterday in the heat race, but when it matters and when there's points on the table, Max Nagel there in 3rd position. And yeah, Ken de Dijker, you just wonder what's going on inside that helmet of his.
You never know, Ken, but yeah, he had an awesome race yesterday, and it just goes to show a good start here can make all the difference. Like I was just scrolling down through the results, and we see Kevin Strybos in 15th, and yesterday he was a solid 2nd, so it's so competitive here in the GPs at the moment.
And that race that we saw yesterday, as we said, it was a freight train of about 10 guys, wasn't it? All fighting for 3rd, down to, what, 13th position, something like that. And it was I mean, it's the first time, really, that we've seen that so deep in the field. And everybody on pit lane yesterday, watching that qualifying race in MX1, just didn't know where to look next. You know, there were 3 or 4 passes in one lap with Nagel and Rui and Bobryshev and Pourcel. All fighting over those positions. Sebastian Pourcel, sorry.
Gonçalves was actually really impressive yesterday in the qualifying race. He came through and he passed a lot of guys, but unfortunately he got passed by Pourcel with 2 corners to go.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking at the timing screen a moment ago. 1.9 seconds between Cairoli and Christophe Pourcel, but just a moment ago before this back marker got involved, Christophe Pourcel looked to be springing a surprise attack with 6 minutes plus 2 on the clock remaining, and I don't know, this one could go any way now. It's less than 2 seconds. Christophe Pourcel probably closer than he has been all moto, apart from on the first lap, but Cairoli might take a cheeky look over his shoulder here, maybe not, and see exactly where Christophe Pourcel is. Don't see him look over his shoulder too much, because he never nearly feels that he has to, but the board signals will be going out on the next lap saying Pourcel closing that gap probably plus 0 or plus half a second or whatever. And Tony Cairoli, well, as we've seen him on more than one occasion, he flicks the switch around about now and wants to establish himself as well, but doesn't have to. Christophe Pourcel 29 points behind him in the championship, but he's still a threat, Christophe Pourcel. And Tony Cairoli, after the double no score in Sweden, through no fault of his own really, a locked rear wheel in the first race and you know, going offline and running into the mud in the second moto. He knows only too well how fast a 50-point lead or a 20-point lead in this case can disappear, and so too can Christophe Pourcel. But he has said, Christophe Pourcel to me a couple of weeks ago, looking forward to coming here, because these tracks now that are the run into the championship are places where he can really start to challenge for the championship, and we could be in for a bit of a showdown between these two guys in the next 5 races. But Christophe Pourcel, though, looking good in that 2nd position. Dean Ferris, I'm going to stick you on the fence. Which way is it going to go? Christophe or Tony Cairoli hanging on for 25 points?
Yeah, it's hard to go past Cairoli, but yeah, Christophe is putting in a charge here, obviously, because he's closing down the lap time, the gap, sorry. But when you watch Pourcel, you can't tell that
Yeah,
that
riding
he's actually,
smooth.
yeah, he's riding so smooth all the time, and you can't tell that he's actually having a go or not. But you just got to check out the lap times.
Christophe Pourcel, 1.8 seconds down at the last split as he came over the line. Pretty much the same as it was a lap ago, but just using different lines, as you were just trying to say there, Dean Woods. Yeah. Dean Ferris just a moment ago in terms of about a half a lap ago. But Cairoli getting good drive going up the hill there. He will be all too aware that Christophe Pourcel, the guy who beat him to the championship in MX2 in, was it 06, I think it was? That he's there and going to be challenging and pushing. But these two actually don't mind riding against each other in terms of, you know, the fairness side of things. You know, they don't ride aggressive against each other and everything else. Although I guess if it came down to it, last race, last lap, last corner of the season for a world championship, you might see some fireworks then if that was the case.
Someone's going to clean each other out for sure. But I've never actually seen Pourcel make any contact, even with the lapper. Is yeah, one of the most fair riders I've ever seen. And maybe, and I'm also, he's always aware of the danger. You know, he never puts his, you know, risks his health. I noticed that he always, you know, if he has to pull his goggles off, he always comes in and changes goggles because he doesn't want to get a rock in the eye. So obviously he doesn't want to hurt anyone or hurt himself in a race, which is really cool.
Cedric Soubeyrat on the HDI Honda France there, number 120, already been passed this lap by Rui Gonçalves, the Honda World Motocross rider. Gonçalves now goes 11th, but Soubeyrat now coming under pressure from number 4, Tanel Leok on the second of the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 Suzuki's there, that yellow machine, number 4. Davide Guarneri's had a good recovery as well, look. He's in 14th position at the moment. Thought he missed the start completely.
Yeah, he hit the gate, didn't he?
Hit the gate, or certainly missed the gate in terms of didn't react quick enough or whatever. But I think it was more the hitting the gate. And there he is, knocking on the door for some decent points in this first MX1 race. We've got just over 2 minutes to go. Moto number 1 in MX1, the 12th round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship, the Casino Bomba Grand Prix of the Czech Republic here in Loket. We're just looking at the battle between Cedric Soubeyrat in 12th and Tanel Leok in 13th. That's these two guys here. Leok there, number 4, in that 13th position. Cedric Soubeyrat realised that Leok may have squared him off going into that corner and switched it back himself. But Leok, look at that, nice line, runs it wide, and Soubeyrat looking a little bit second-hand in this late stage of this first race and not really challenging. Tanel Leok takes a look over his shoulder, does the Estonian, and he's safely through now. So Tanel Leok up into 12th place. Rui Gonçalves just ahead of him in 11th on the Honda World Motocross machine. Already gone, already checked out of there. So too, Tony Cairoli, what a lap he's had, because nowhere to be seen. In the background there is Christophe Pourcel, so we'll keep an eye on this lap time. Previously it was 1:51.4 compared to a 52.0. Cairoli over the line now with a 1:51.8, and Christophe Pourcel about to come through, and his time 1:58, 1:51.8, 1:52.9, so more than a second, so that gap 3.6 seconds. So Christophe Pourcel then maybe throwing in a white towel, and we're not going to get the grandstand finish that we might have anticipated about 10 minutes or so ago, but he's going to use this time, I think, Christophe Pourcel, just to, oh, Nagel, was he just wide or has he been down? I think he was just gone wide. But he's not that far away. He's only 10 seconds down on Christophe Pourcel. Is Max Nagel in 3rd position.
And he's put in a good lap time also this lap and stretched out the gap that Desal was pulling in on him.
Yeah, and obviously we just saw Desal coming over the tabletop in the background. So this is the battle for 3rd position. Max Nagel would love to get a podium position in his first race back. Of course he would, but Clement Desal's going after the World Championship, and there he is just in the background, about 2.5 seconds further back. So we are going to get some kind of grandstand here between Nagel and Desal, the battle for 3rd position. Looks like he's wearing some kind of, I mean, most riders tend to wear a body belt anyway, but looks like the strapping's come undone on Max Nagel's there. Probably wearing something else, like some kind of corset type thing maybe, just to keep everything all intact there.
I noticed that a few laps ago. I thought it was a rag or something, and I was wondering myself, it's not even muddy. Why, why is he? Yeah, obviously it's some sort of strap to support his back.
Sean Simpson coming back at number 77. Evgeny Bobashev. Slow park down the inside. Bobashev going to think about going back up the inside, but has to switch it across the other side. So Sean Simpson was looking a little bit tired a couple of laps ago. Seems to be going back after Bobashev takes 8th position on the Monster Energy Yamaha. give you a quick rundown. Tony Cairoli, 3.6 seconds clear of Christophe Pourcel as they approach the 2 lap to go mark. Max Nagel, though, in a battle, 2.5 seconds clear he was of Clément Dessalles last time around in that battle for 3rd place. Then we've got Gauthier Paulin, Xavier Bourg, the 2 factory Kawasaki riders in 5th and 6th. Then it's Ken Dodajka, Evgeny Bobashev, Sean Simpson now, Evgeny Bobashev and Gregory Aranda down in 10th. Then we've got Rugon Salvez in 11th, Tonel Leoc, Cedric Subarat, David Ganeri, Kevin Strybos in 15th, and Sebastian Pourcel, Milko Podizek, Mark Deruva, Jonathan Barragan and Nathan Parker in the points on the STR. Oh, Barragan's gone down again, look at that, 19th position.
He's not having a good day, is he?
No, the LS Honda rider. 2 crashes in consecutive corners, but either end of the race for the Spaniard. And looking to get that Honda fired up and if he can rejoin the race. So Nathan Parker will take 2 World Championship points for Steve Turner Racing. We already saw Jamie Law, the stand-in for Mattis Caro, pick up good points for them earlier on in the season. That yellow flag still out there for Jonathan Barragan, but 3.2 seconds a gap at the head of the field between Cairoli and Pourcel, with about a lap and a half to go. There's Big Ken Dodajka.
He's in no man's land at the moment, so they've got a 5 second deficit from in front and behind him.
So he's looking at what, 7th position?
7th position, and worth a mention is Gregory Aranda. We haven't seen him on screen yet, but for his return, 10th place right now is really respectable. What
obviously before you came back for the French Grand Prix, was it French Grand Prix your first one back, or did you?
No, Bulgarian GP.
Oh, that's right, yeah, and you got a 20th and a 15th there. So you only missed the 1 round, but obviously missing Valkenswaard. What were your expectations when you got to Bulgaria? What shape were you in there? Was it just a case of getting on the bike and getting your riding fitness as you developed, or were you a little bit behind the 8 ball, as it were?
I was behind the 8 ball for sure. We only started testing there, so that the development of my bike was behind, and we started to get it pretty good for pretty much Mexico, Brazil. I was starting to get happy with it, and obviously France I was happy with it there, but yeah, I got injured, so...
Second moto?
Yeah, second moto.
And that was it, so surgery and everything else. I mean, was there a chance that you could have raced the rest of the season, or was it just a case of looking at it and saying, you know what, let's just get surgery, get it done and be 100% for next year?
Immediately I decided I was going to ride for the rest of the season, as any rider does, because they just want to race, but... after a week, I realised, I thought about it, and it was just better to get surgery. Thinking about next year and trying to get ready for 2013. If I had to wait till October to get it done, I definitely wouldn't be ready. So that was the main reason why I got it done. And after surgery, the doctor told me it was pretty torn up, and you probably wouldn't have been able to race near your best anyway. So I'm glad I got it done.
Voice of Dean Ferris there, the Ice One Kawasaki rider, who's alongside me, Paul Malin, in the commentary booth here in Loket, the 12th round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. We just saw a nice battle going on there between the 999, Rugon Salvez, and Tonel Leoc fighting over 11th position. That one still could go any way, but meanwhile, with a handful of corners to go, Tony Cairoli has dug in deep the last couple of laps, and he's just managed to distance himself to the tune of almost 4 seconds over Christophe Pourcel on the CP377 Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Max Nagel about 7 seconds further back on the Red Bull KTM. He's managed to hold off Clément Dessalles, and that gap around about 4 seconds at the start of the final lap. But Tony Cairoli, he's going to take victory here in Moto number 1. He extends his points lead in the championship as well over Clément Dessalles. And Tony Cairoli, not sure if he's actually seen the checkered flag there. Actually, it looks like he's gone round for another lap. But there is Christophe Pourcel. He comes home in 2nd position. Max Nagel comes home in 3rd place. That's going to be a great ride for him, a great boost for him as well, and the team, I guess. But Max Nagel, though, a lot of support here. And in a similar way that we saw a good result for the podium in MX2 Race 1, I won't mention the names just in case you haven't seen it, Max Nagel does a similar job here in MX1 Race 1. Gets congratulated by Valentina and his girlfriend and everybody, and a great return ride back for the German. 3rd here in the first race, but Tony Cairoli, sensational again. 8.5 seconds clear in the end over Christophe Pourcel. Nagel 3rd, Dessalles, he'll be 4th, then Paulin, Boog, Ken Dodajka, Sean Simpson, Evgeny Bobashev and Gregory Aranda. Tony Cairoli didn't see the checkered flag, went round for another lap look, and now it's turned into a sighting lap. So I suppose it's better than doing it the other way, not seeing the getting it like 1 lap short.
Yeah.
Seen that before in Supermoto. Manu Hermanen, if you're listening. Cairoli springs to mind. But Tony Cairoli, 25 points again. So, Dean Ferris, Ice One Racing Kawasaki, quick summary from you. What do you think of that first MX1 race here in Loket?
No surprise that Cairoli and Pourcel were at the front. Very impressed with Max Nagel, and like I said earlier, Gregory Aranda, the first race back, so impressed by him.
So Tony Cairoli then continues his forced sighting lap. Just went through that final turn just a little bit too quick. Thought, okay, well, I'll just carry on. Safer to do that. But I'm sure he'll milk it for what it is and enjoy every moment as he's halfway to securing what would be Grand Prix victory number 50. And, yeah, another milestone in the career of one of the all-time greats in World Motocross Championship competition. Official confirmation then. Race 1, MX1. Tony Cairoli easily wins from Christophe Pourcel, who backed off on the final lap. Max Nagel, great return for him in third from Clement de Salle, a fight through the field for him to fourth. Then it was Gauthier Paulin, Xavier Bourg, Ken Didike, Sean Simpson, Evgeny Bobryshev and Gregory Aranda. Rui Gonçalves, another rider who had to come through the field to take 11th position ahead of the hard-charging Tanel Leop and then David Guneri. Cedric Soubeyras, who dropped down through the field in the closing stages to 14th. Kevin Strybos, mixed race for him down in 15th, never really got off the starting blocks, and then it was Sebastian Pourcel, Milko Podolzek, Mark de Ruva, Martin Machek, and 1 point in the end for Nez Parker on the STR KTM. So, Dean Ferris, thanks for joining us up here in the commentary booth for this first race. Speedy recovery, and hope the training goes well. And, yeah, enjoy your time back home in Australia, and we'll see you maybe later on in the season. You're going to come out to watch the Nations, or when you go back, that's it?
When I go back, that's it. But hopefully you guys see me back for the GPs next year. And, yeah, thanks for having me in the booth again. It's a pleasure.
No worries, dude. We'll catch you later. Cairoli, though, extends his championship lead. 27 points now over Clement de Salle. So, looking to get back to what he was at before Sweden. Tony Cairoli then victorious in Moto number 1 from Christophe Pourcel, Max Nagel, Clement de Salle and Gauthier Paulin. They were the top 5. Ken Didike ended up 7th ahead of Sean Simpson, with Bobryshev 9th. Gregory Aranda had a good ride, though. He came home in 10th place. Mixed race for Kevin Strybos and Rui Gonçalves, Tanel Leop, all having to fight hard for the points, but as a result of that first race victory, Tony Cairoli now 27 points clear of Clement de Salle, who had to settle for 4th position. But what a race for Max Nagel. His first race back in 2012, his first Grand Prix of the year. Wanted to delay his return until he was absolutely ready, and, well, he's shown everybody that he is ready, with 3rd place in that first moto behind Cairoli and Christophe Pourcel, no less. And got a great start and managed to hang it out there as well for the duration. And even though Clement de Salle may have got close in the closing stages, he never got close enough. But we're getting ready to go speak to our winner, Tony Cairoli, who should be down by the podium area with Amy. And it'd be interesting to hear his take on it, and whether he mentions the sighting lap that he just did as well. Here he is, Tony Cairoli.
Tony, congratulations on taking the first race win of the day. It looked super tight there between you and Christophe.
Yeah, you know, I know, like yesterday, I also told everybody that Christophe going to be fast on this track, and yeah, I was sure that if you get a good start, we could together make a good pace, and yeah, it was good for me. I'm really satisfied about my riding. You know, this kind of condition is not really my style, but I like it, and I enjoy it a little bit this race, and it was nice to win this race, and also to have Max Nagel again on the podium after a long injury. So well done to him, and yeah, see you next race.
Well done.
Good ride for Tony Cairoli. Whole shot, led every single one of those laps and picks up 25 points in a process, extending his championship lead over Clément de Sal. But he did say that he told everybody Christophe Pourcel would be fast here, and he kept him honest throughout the whole moto. He couldn't allow any slip-ups. Tony Cairoli. But in the end, he was just too good for Christophe Pourcel, who had to settle for second position. And with a few laps to go, he'd already decided to back off the pace, realizing that, yeah, maybe there was going to be no way through. He was matching the 5-time world champion for lap times on every lap, but managed to get closer than that, about in the second and a half, actually, for much of the race. But in the end, Cairoli just did enough to edge clear. We're getting ready to speak to Christophe Pourcel, the CP377 Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki
Christophe,
rider.
you set the fastest time in pre-qualification, and you've just done a really great race out there. Is this a track that you like?
I would say yes. I kind of like the track, but it's super slippery and hard to make sometimes. But you know, I think you just need to get a good start, and then I was right behind Antonio, and he had a good race and couldn't make the pass. So looking for the second one, and I'll try my best.
Well done.
Still on course, though, for taking the Grand Prix victory here. Christophe Pourcel has 6 GP victories to his name already. Would love to take the overall here to really kickstart his championship again. He arrived here 29 points down on Tony Cairoli. Now 32 points down, but still a lot of races to be ridden, a lot of laps to contest. And we've still got a moto here today. And as we've seen on so many occasions this year, anything can happen in the sport of motocross. And well, maybe he needs a little bit of luck to turn his way, but at the same time, he's prepared to dig in. Third in the race, though. A great return for Max Nagel.
Max, your first race back in the World Championship of the 2012 season. A top 3 is a pretty good start.
Yeah, I never expect something like this, never ever, because also the people around, we said, like, if I can finish maybe top 10 would be great, just make a good start and try to follow the guys as long as possible, because still I'm just 80% ready, like I have a lot of arm pump during the race, and the field condition is quite tough. But I'm so happy, I never expected, so now I'm really motivated for the next heat. Maybe I can make something like the same, would be great.
All the best for the second race.
Thank you.
And there's a great interview with Max Nagel out in the magazines at the moment in the UK and pretty much throughout the rest of Europe, which pretty much documents his struggle with the injury and the fight that he's had to endure and what it's taken for him to get back to where he is. And well, it's proved to be worth every ounce of pain that he's had to put up with and all the setbacks, because here he is in Loket, the Czech Republic, his first race back in 2012, and he goes away with 3rd in Moto #1. So a great day so far for the Red Bull KTM rider. Well, he finished 3rd, Christophe Pourcel was 2nd, Tony Cairoli was 1st. Here's how it went down in race 1. The gate dropped, Jonathan Barragan didn't get a good jump, nor too did Christophe Pourcel, but Christophe Pourcel managed to hold the inside line, came out in about 4th position initially. Milko Podolzek went down at the first turn. Max Nagel had to fight, though, with Gauthier Paulin in which to get to that 3rd position, but when he did, he managed to hold on and let it stick. But it wasn't for the lack of trying from the factory Kawasaki of the number 21, Gauthier Paulin, who eventually came home in 5th ahead of his teammate, Xavier Bourg. Clément de Sal was on the charge. He actually got up into 4th on that pass there with the number 21, Gauthier Paulin, but up front, all eyes were focused on this battle here. Tony Cairoli, the 222, and the 377 of Christophe Pourcel. But in the end, Christophe Pourcel couldn't get any more than, or any closer than a 2.5 seconds or so. And in the end, it was enough for Tony Cairoli to take the win. Tano Liot was on the charge, following through the 999 of Rui Gonçalves, and those two just finishing outside the top 10. But the checkered flag fell, and it was Tony Cairoli picking up victory in Moto #1. Pourcel was 2nd, Max Nagel was 3rd, and that's pretty much all we've got time for here for now. We'll see you in 1 hour's time for MX2 Race 2. See you then.